the Tojo Fitness Podcast this Thursday.
Yo.
It's good to have you tuning in to us. This is our first podcast of this style, and we thought that every Thursday we would do a sort of rather longer format podcast for you, talking about nutrition and fitness and all things keeping healthy.
Yeah, we're coming to you from Margate Beach on a very, very hot Thursday, and we hope that you take away some amazing things from this podcast.
So today we want to talk about why nutrition matters.
It's a good question.
Why does nutrition matter?
Why does nutrition matter?
If you look at what most people eat and how most people address food, it appears it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
People just eat whatever. And we're in a bit of a mess. We're in a bit of a pickle as a society.
True. It's true. When you look at the national newspapers or even people walking down the street and look at the content of what they have in their hands and what they're eating, you won't need to look very, very far to realise that, yes, we are in a bit of a pickle.
Let me give you some shocking statistics. 9 in 10 older adults have one chronic disease.
Oh.
It's 9 in 10. 8 in 10 older adults have more than one.
Wow, so that's a lot.
It is. I was talking to somebody, one of our clients, just the other day, and they was talking about how at work, so many of their friends, and this is somebody who's in their 40s, so many of their friends who are their age or below, and they're people who they work with, are on multiple pills every day just to keep themselves going. And we kind of think this is normal, that by the time you reach about 35, 40, you're going to start taking pills.
Yeah.
And those pills are, whether they're pills for stress or for blood pressure or depression or any one of a number of chronic diseases, which largely can be solved with good food.
Yeah.
Or with exercise, or a mixture of the two. Here's another statistic. 2/3 of over 60s have high blood pressure.
Wow.
2/3. 25% of all UK deaths are from preventable cardiovascular disease.
25%.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite a big figure, that.
It's a lot of people. And when we start digging down a little bit further, we start coming to the reasons behind this.
Yeah.
And the reasons are things we just don't like to talk about, but unless we talk about them, we can't get solutions and we can't get...
It's the elephant in the room, people.
And we want to talk, we're committed to talking to you about the elephants in the room. We want to address the elephants in the room because we want to see people, our friends, our clients, we want to live to 120. We've said that. That's our stated goal. And we want to have friends who are our age who are taking the journey with us. Here's some of the things. If we dig down and start finding why does nutrition matter, we find that 70% of the UK population are now overweight. 70%.
70%.
And 27% are obese.
Wow. So overweight, obviously the overweight and obese, that's all to do with your BMI.
Yes, it is.
Your body mass
index.
So body mass index is a calculation which is done between your height and your weight. And we make this lovely little calculation and it tells us on a scale whether you are overweight, whether you are obese, whether you're normal, whether you're under normal even.
One of the things that's been really exciting over the last few months, if those of you who've been with us over the last few months, we did a Shred for Summer.
Shred.
And we took over 40 people on this journey with us, and it was a wonderful journey. And it was great. One of my favourite bits was saying to people, hey, you have dropped a BMI category. You went from being obese to being overweight.
That's
or you went
huge.
from being overweight to normal. And that's just an exciting thing to be able to share with people because it's not so much about what you look like, although that's important. It literally adds years to your life. And when I was thinking of the title for this, Why Nutrition Matters, and I may even put it up there on the podcast title, it was how to add 10 years to your life.
Oh, that's good.
Because going from a position of being obese to a position of normal body mass index is likely to add statistically somewhere between 10 to 15 years of active life to your life, which is incredible. Just let me stop now and ask you, if I had a pill and I could sell you this pill, and this pill would give you on average 10 to 15 more years of active life, how much would that pill be worth?
Oh yeah,
I would be a multi-billionaire by now.
yeah, it's true. The thing is that not only does it add years to your life, is that it actually reverses a lot of the chronic diseases that people in the UK, even all over the world, suffer from. So we won't go into too much detail at this time. That is coming. Nutrition, a healthy lifestyle, exercise is known. Studies have shown from the ACSM, that's the American College of Sport Medicine, that good nutrition, good exercise does reverse chronic disease and thus takes off the pressure from the NHS.
Yeah, so it's good for you and it's good for your country as well. It's
absolutely
good for the budgets. Coming back to this, the overweight and statistics, if we drill down on that to year sixes, because this is starting lower and lower.
So year 6, what's the...
10s to 11s.
10s to 11-year-olds.
20% of 10s to 11s are classified as obese.
Dang.
Now that should never be. Here's the big elephant in the room.
Ooh.
This is... we have lots of reasons we say, oh, it's because of this and it's because of that. It's because we eat too much and we move too little. We eat too much and we move too little. And setting up 10s and 11 years old, 20% in obesity, this is going to be an epidemic later on. It's an epidemic now, but it's going to create... we're literally cutting decades off of these children's lives. And so we really want to... Our passion is to see something done about this and to try and reverse that as early as we can. So you might be watching this and thinking, you know, I'm not in my 60s yet, I'm not in my 50s yet, I'm in my 20s. But nutrition matters because in your 20s, if you set it up right, you're adding years to your life now.
Yeah, no, that's right.
I remember as a kid there was a advertising campaign about smoking, and I don't know how accurate it was, but I remember at school being told that every time you smoke a cigarette, it knocks a day off your life. And that really hit me because, so I don't know whether the statistics were accurate, but I thought, I want that day. And that's one of the reasons I didn't smoke, because I wanted that day. I knew there'd be a day when just to have one more day, I would give every penny I had to have that extra day.
But obviously starting the kids off young, we're actually qualified in
childhood
nutrition and exercise. And this is something which actually is also a passion of ours as well. And obviously, if any advice is needed, please do let us know. But I guess when I was a kid, I don't think the availability there wasn't as much sweet stuff around. I guess I didn't have as much sweet stuff in my house available.
Yeah, I think there was less. It was very expensive. I remember going down to the sweet shop and you'd have the pick and mix, you know, and you'd spend sort of like 20 minutes with 5 pence.
Yeah.
And the poor guy behind the counter, you'd say, can I have 3 of those and 2 of those and 4 of the quarter penny sweets? And they'll put them all together and then you'd change your mind. Yeah. But actually you didn't have much money to buy. You know, you couldn't buy vast amounts of sugar and so on.
Yeah, that's right.
So this is all really important stuff. And we know this is going to generate questions, and one of the things we want to do on this Thursday podcast is to answer questions, your questions, particularly for our clients. And we have clients who we personally train, and we also have clients who are part of our peak nutrition program, and some are part of both of that. We really want to be answering questions, frequently asked questions, but you can just write into us, put a comment below here if you've got questions. Let me give you some more statistics. I'm full of statistics today. Almost 5 million, that's 13% of the UK population are type 2 diabetic.
Yeah, so for those who aren't very familiar, you've got obviously type 1 and type 2 diabetic. Type 1 is usually you are either born that way, it's something which unfortunately you don't have a choice on, it's genetic, there's nothing you can do about it, it's not reversible, and obviously you're on insulin pretty much for the rest of your life. Type 2 diabetic, if this has been... if this has come on later on in life due to poor dietary choices, then type 2 diabetic can be A, controlled by diet, or B, completely reversed by good nutrition.
Yeah, and this is something we're going to do a whole podcast on this. We know there's a lot of people out there. This is one thing they contact with us a lot, saying, look, Tom, Joe, how do I reverse type 2 diabetes? Because absolutely it can be reversed every time with the right nutrition and the right exercise protocols. But we think of type 2 diabetes and we think of it as being, it's just something which, well, everybody gets it later on in life. But let me tell you, if you have type 2 diabetes, there's a 50% chance you'll die of cardiovascular disease associated with that diabetes. Diabetes is linked to depression, it's linked to kidney disease, it's linked to eye disease, and is also linked, and this is the one which really arrests people, I think, is linked to amputation.
Yeah, it's true.
Linked to amputation in life, and it can be controlled, it can be reversed.
Yeah.
And so we're going to be doing a whole series of podcasts probably, I guess, on this.
Yeah,
and we know because
space.
we work with our clients in helping them reverse this. We know this works.
Yeah.
Final statistic I have before we move on here is about respiratory disease, which is 1 in 5 people, which obviously smoking is the leading cause of death. And respiratory disease, COPD, and these things are on the rise. Part of that is the stuff that's in our atmosphere that we're just breathing in, even if we're non-smokers. But once again, there are many things we can do to help offset that. Yeah. Just like in the world, have carbon offset. So you offset the damage which is being done by your industry by offsetting carbon emissions. Yeah. You can offset the damage which is being done to your lungs through a use of good nutrition once again.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the most important things to also say is, don't ever write yourself off. I believe it's never too late.
Yeah.
It's never too late to make a change. It's never too late to make those good choices because you can still influence tomorrow. You can still influence tomorrow.
I think in the West, we should be living healthy, active lives until we're 100 years old. There's no medical reason why we shouldn't be living, the average person, looking forward today to living an active, healthy life until they're 100. And isn't that what you want? I know it's what I want. I don't want ever-increasing decrepitude going into life as older. If you don't know, if you're listening to this, Joe's how many years younger than me?
14.
14 years younger than me.
14 years.
So I'm always thinking, man, I want to keep up with her.
He does need to keep up with me.
I don't want to enter decrepitude early. I've got to keep up with this girl, and that's what I want. But why is it with all this knowledge? Why don't we change? Yeah. It's not that we don't have the power. It's not that we lack the power. Sometimes we lack the knowledge of how to use it.
Yeah, I guess also like the UK obviously is one of the richest countries in the world.
Yeah.
So, in comparison with other countries, obviously third world country, etc., we have obviously the top NHS. We have access to good, clean, fresh food. We have pretty much everything. And I think what we need to do is actually start being very wise caretakers of what we actually have available to us.
That's really good, because what I wanted to go on to talk about is how making nutrition matters because it is the currency of life.
Yeah.
And what a tragedy if after working all your life, you're then broke at 60 years old. You hope that after working all your life, by the time you're 60, you've got a reasonable pension and you can enjoy life.
You've got a reasonable body.
And and that's how much more is that true of when you get to a pensionable age, when you can give up work, that you can actually enjoy retirement because you can do the things you want to do. And for me, that's really important, that I want to do the things I want to do when I retire. I don't want to retire and then drop dead in 5 years' time, or retire and find I can no longer play with the grandkids. I can no longer climb a mountain. I can no longer go to the gym because I'm physically bankrupt. And our health is literally the currency of our life. And how we deal... I remember my dad saying to me when I was a young person, he said, Tom, you need to put money in your pension fund now. Don't wait until you're 60 before you start putting money into your pension fund. Make a contribution now. And every time we make a smart nutritional choice, and every time we go to the gym, and every time we work out, we are investing in a pension plan that we will draw from health-wise for the rest of our life. Because almost everything you want to do in the second half of your life requires health.
Yeah, that's right. And not just, we talked about going to the gym or working out, but even little things like, okay, it's between lunch and tea time and I want a snack. Just making those right choices, then what you're doing is you're still sowing into your tomorrow, but you're sowing the right way. You're sowing health. You're sowing happiness. Actually, you're actually sowing life. And so obviously your kids, they're going to want to see you live a long, ripe, old age. They want you to see their grandchildren. They want you to see their great-grandchildren. And so we're here to educate and to give knowledge and to guide, so you're able to be 100 years old and get your letter from the Queen or the King at that time.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to, let's say you imagine yourself at 60 years old going down the ski slopes, skiing down the ski slopes. You're going to need two sorts of currency. You're going to need financial currency to get there, and you're going to need physical currency. You're going to need health currency.
Knees, that's what you're going to
do. Yeah, knees. So let me define health currency, because this is something we talk about a lot at Tojo. And we come back to health currency. The currency of health is the wherewithal to meet any demand placed upon the body in order to meet any desire at any time of life.
Oh, you need to say that again, I think.
Let me say it. The currency of health is the wherewithal to meet any demand placed upon the body in order to meet any desire at any time of life. That is, that you can still do the stuff you want to do when you're older. And it doesn't mean necessarily going skiing. It may just mean making love to your husband or your wife, or particularly if you're a guy, being able to do what is necessary to perform that act. And whilst we sort of may be very British about this and laugh about this, this is something which is a major problem. Not used to be a problem for over 60s. Now many over 40s are finding major problems here. Testosterone is dropping in the UK and all over the world, and a lot of this, once again, is linked to our health currency, to our nutritional status.
Yeah, it might even be that you want to be able to get on the floor with the grandkids and play.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, once I get down, I can't get up. And the thing is that we learn these phrases at a particular time of life. And I think there comes to a time where you have to unlearn the things that you've been told you ought to say at one particular age. Oh, it's my bones. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. Oh, it's this. And I think perhaps almost changing your declaration over your body when you get to a particular age. What if you don't go grey at the age of 60? What if you can still do jumping squats at the age of 60? What if you don't have to be like all your other friends?
Yeah, I mean, don't go bankrupt at 60. And if you don't want to go bankrupt at 60, you've got to start investing right now. And this is why we can wind this right back to what it is now. What are you doing now? Yeah. What are you doing with your health right now? So diabetes, heart disease, erectile dysfunction, obesity,
high blood pressure,
arthritis, all these things are ways in which we start going bankrupt. But we want to teach you, and we hope you're going to tune in and get involved. And we wanted to put this out there as well, free of charge on YouTube, because we do recognise this is our business.
Yeah.
And so people pay us money to actually train them and to be involved in their lives nutritionally through the Peak Nutrition Plan. But that might not be, you might not be in that place.
Yeah.
But we can still have some input into your life and help you in this. And maybe at some point in the future, you'll go, actually, the benefit I've gained from these guys, I might be able to invest in my own life. And we were talking about that just earlier, how in the UK, we're incredibly bad about investing in our own health. So we would invest in our car. Nobody would not put oil in their car to save a few quid when the oil gauge is on zero, because you know the car's going to break down and cost you a lot of money. And yet we would do that physically, right?
No, that's right. But also, I think we've got to have this kind of mind change, is that your health is not a luxury. Your health is a necessity. And I think what we find is, because health does cost us money, healthy food does cost a little bit extra. A gym membership, or perhaps a personal trainer or a health trainer, does cost that little bit more of an investment. But you've got to realise that if you don't do that for yourself, it may be later on in life that you'll regret that. And so you are a necessity, not a luxury. And I guess it's also changing that, okay, so I've got a Sky broadband package for 100 quid a month.
Yeah.
I can either have a Sky broadband package, or I can have a health trainer for exactly the same amount of money. I get loads of return back, not just flicking through channels and there's actually nothing on apart from the one. Yeah. And I guess it's like that re-education, that retraining. And once you get a hold of that, you're like, oh, why didn't I do that before?
Yeah, and one of the things which we've discovered again and again is that as people change their eating habits and change their exercise habits and lifestyle, they start coming back to us saying again and again, wow, I never realised this is how I could feel.
Yeah.
I just assumed that because I was middle-aged, I would feel stiff in the joints. I would lack energy. Yeah, I'd be slow and lethargic. And we have stacks of energy. Those of you who know us, you'll agree. We've got stacks of energy. We're living the dream. We're doing the thing. We're living the life.
Yeah.
And we've been through our own share of struggles with that in the past, and health issues in the past. And it's partly because of those health issues that we committed ourselves so strongly to learning the secrets of how to live, how to regain those extra 10, extra 15 years of healthy life. And that's why nutrition matters. And that's why this Tojo podcast, we're going to be putting it out there every Thursday, unless we're on holiday, which we hope is going to happen more and more. But we're going to put this out there every Thursday for everybody. So if you're listening to us right now and you're on YouTube,
you are welcome.
You press subscribe and then click the little bell button so that you never miss one of these.
Yeah.
And we're going to take you through a journey of health, because we're committed to giving you the strategies to live a full life and to die empty. So once you die when you've absolutely achieved everything you want to achieve in life, and you're absolutely, the battery is empty, rather than you getting halfway to your destination and finding you've run out of fuel.
Absolutely. And what we want to encourage is that you don't wait until the day, until your body gives you a reason to start dealing with this stuff.
We want you to live life with strength.
Yeah. So have a fantastic day. We hope you've enjoyed this podcast, and we will be back next Thursday. This is Tojo Fitness.